This is Analytical Media. Today we're going to talk about what really smart people do, what super high IQ people do, what super achieving people do. It's a thinking technique. It's a way to think. We're going to talk about it today. If you've been following our series on critical thinking, this would be the sixth step, the sixth installment on critical thinking. Today we're talking about tolerating ambiguity. The educational system seems to train people, students, to look for just the right answer, the solution, the one thing. But really smart people, really intelligent people, super achieving people recognize that many issues are complex, they're intricate, they're subtle, and that complex issues may not have a right answer. Really, what we're talking about here are self-actualizing people. This is Abraham Maslow's work, brilliant work, fascinating work. We're not going to talk about it too much. We're really going to talk about a quality that these people have and other highly successful, overachieving, wealthy people who've achieved their own success, who've produced their own wealth. It means that they did it themselves. They were either lucky, or if they've done it consistently, they're beating everybody else. Life is a big poker game. You have a hand in the game. And whether you realize it or not, you need to beat the other people to be successful. You know, at the end of a poker game, everyone cannot be a winner. There's one big winner, maybe a couple divided up winners, and we've got losers. And unfortunately, that's the way of life. People that want to sell you a gold investment want to make money from you. If you buy gold as an investment, somebody had to sell it to you. It didn't come out of thin air. Somebody sold you their gold. If you own stock A, B, or C, or Palantir, or Nvidia, when you bought it, somebody sold it to you. You bought it from Joe Blow. You thought it was a good investment, and paying $200 a share would be a good thing. But Joe Blow thinks it's overinflated now. He wants to dump it. He thinks you're a fool. He wants to take your money. So it is a poker game. Every time you make $1 in the stock market, realize somebody lost $1 in the stock market. That's basically the way it works. Yes, you are playing poker in life. You're playing against other people. The car salesman, he's trying to get as much money out of you as he can. And if you're dumb enough, he'll take most of your money. And if you're dumb enough, you'll let him do that. It's a game. He wants to make the most, and you want to spend the least. It's a game. Life is a poker game. If you're going to succeed in life financially, that money's going to come from somewhere. It's the guy selling you the stock, his stock. It's the guy selling you his gold. Or it's the agent, the stock agent, the gold agent who's selling it to you from somebody else. He's conveying the stock, the property, the gold. He's conveying it to you. He doesn't own it. Somebody else does, but he's going to give it to you. If it goes up in value, you were smart. If it goes down in value, the guy that sold it to you was smart, right? He sold it to you when it was high, when he made his money. You own it now, and the stuff's gone down in value, way down, and it keeps going down. And your biggest fear is, I better get rid of this stuff before it's worth nothing at all, which is all poor investing technique. So this is a quality of the very successful. This is a quality of the very best thinkers. This is a quality of very healthy human beings. This is a quality of very high IQ people. The very bright, the self-actualizing, the critical thinkers recognize that many questions can only be answered with qualifiers such as probably, highly likely, or not very likely. So it's not A or B. It could be A. It's probably A. It might not be A. There are qualifiers that go with the answer. Generally speaking, people hate ambiguity. Very intelligent people, they tolerate ambiguity. You can learn to tolerate ambiguity and think like a super bright person, a super healthy person, and you'll have all the benefits of it. You can learn the technique, or the need at least, to tolerate ambiguity. Looking for a new car, should you buy the Chevy or should you buy the Ford? It's a hard issue for people. Should you buy the Ford F-150 or the Ford F-250? It's unsettling. And good salespeople know it, and they'll see whichever way you're leaning, and then they'll heavily support, oh, buy the 250. And that's how you lose at poker. Make no mistake about it, the people at the poker table want your money. When you've played poker, you wanted their money. Their money, the other people, the people you're playing against, you wanted their money. And if you left a winner, you left with their money. But the goal was for them to leave with your money. That's their goal. You want to be successful in life, you want to be happy in life, you want life to go well for you, you need to learn this technique, because all very successful, healthy people, super high IQ people have this, tolerating ambiguity. Ordinary people, they don't like ambiguity. Like, I don't know what to do. Should I take the new job? Should I stay at my old job? It's a torture for them. Should I get this car or should I get that car? It's a torture for them. And of course, whichever car they get, it has to be the right car for their situation. They could get the wrong car for their situation. And can you count on the salesperson to help you make that decision? No. You can count on the salesperson trying to get every penny out of you that he possibly can. And that's the truth. What do you think all those trips to the sales manager are about? It's like, how big a sucker is this guy out there or this woman? What are they going to believe? They don't want a fair price. They want the best price for them. They do not want a fair price. And in all fairness, you're trying to get that car for nothing. You don't want them to get a fair price. You're not thinking fair. You're thinking, I want that car for free. If I got to pay a little bit, well, it's not so good, but I don't want to pay much. I want to pay as little as possible. And I'm sure as hell not going to pay a sticker. Do you see what I'm telling you? It's the nature of the beast. This is the nature of life. The people that are trying to sell you their house, they want the most they could possibly get. And you want to buy that house for the least you have to pay. That's true in the stock market. It's true with every investment. You've got to play cards with a full deck. You have to have the right number of cards dealt you. If you're supposed to have 5 cards, you better get 5 cards. If you want the playing field to be equal and fair, you've got to have the same skills as the people playing against you. If you started playing poker a month ago, and you're playing with people that have played for 10 years, I can assure you, you're going to lose all your money. You've got to learn how to play poker. You've got to have the same skills that the other people have. And what I'm telling you is that super bright people, super successful people, they've developed a skill called tolerating ambiguity. You don't need to learn to tolerate something that is pleasant, but you need to tolerate something that's unpleasant, like pain. You tolerate the pain. The tolerance level. How much pain can you take? What's your tolerance to pain? What's your tolerance to ambiguity? In other words, ambiguity is sort of painful. Nonetheless, the only way to reduce that ambiguity is to make a decision. And if that decision is made prematurely, the decision is likely to be wrong. Successful people don't make premature. That means before it's ready, before the decision is mature, before you have enough facts, before it's ready, you make a decision. Well, that's premature. And it's very deadly. You needed more maturity. You needed more time. You needed more evidence. You needed more research. So you cannot make that decision until you get that. More facts, figures, knowledge. And if you make a decision before then, it's almost guaranteed to be wrong. Ambiguity is hard to put up with. It's like ambiguity is vague. Should you buy the Ford? Should you buy the Chevy? I don't know. It's vague. I don't know. The Ford's got this going for it. The Chevy's got that going for it. And that's an unpleasant state. An ambiguous state is unpleasant, a state of mind to people. So you have to learn the technique of living with it, of tolerating ambiguity. You make the right decision when the time is right to make that decision, and you are much more likely to be right. If you're playing the stock market or you're investing in gold, if you are a simple-minded person, you will make your decision on which car to buy, the Chevy or the Ford, based on the car color. Well, I like blue better than I like red. Or it might be based on something else, like, well, all the guys in my family, they always buy Fords, so I'm buying a Ford. So why are you in a hurry? Why don't you want to do the research? Because it's painful to walk around for weeks not knowing what car you're going to buy, what stock you're going to invest in, or what friend you can trust. Can't say, well, my friend, he's Joe Smith, and you know, those Smiths are very trustworthy people. Yeah, but it doesn't mean Joe's trustworthy. So you got to be in a state of pain. State of ambiguity is a state of pain. It's unpleasant for most people. But that's the nature of life. You don't make a decision prematurely. You make it when you have everything you need to make that decision. And until then, you've got to decide that no correct decision is likely from the information you're providing or being provided to you. The quick, simple decision, the premature decision, does provide relief from not knowing, relief from ambiguity. But it's likely the wrong decision, the wrong answer, which means you're going to suffer in life. You need to be right in life. Does that make sense to you? You need to be right. You can be wrong, and the more wrong you are, the more you're going to suffer. Abraham Maslow talks about self-actualizing people, who he considers to be psychologically healthy, fully functioning people. They're the people who reach the top of their development. They're the smartest. They are the superachievers. And he's recognized it's because of these characteristics that they possess or acquire. And one of them is being tolerant of the unknown, tolerating ambiguity. And here's a quote from Maslow. Our healthy people are generally unthreatened and unfrightened by the unknown. They accept it. They don't know. They accept that they don't know. They are comfortable with it and often are even more attracted by the unknown. They not only tolerate the ambiguous and unstructured, they like it. That's a quality that you can develop for yourself. It's a quality that will help you succeed in life. He's saying that healthy people, overachievers, very successful people, the very bright, do not need to prematurely organize or categorize or force structures onto uncertain situations. Healthy people can comfortably handle disorder, vagueness, doubt, tentativeness, and uncertainty when this situation calls for it, such as when being creative, or in science, or in an artistic pursuit. And they come over time to find doubt and the need to suspend judgment to be stimulating rather than painful. This contrasts with the ordinary man or woman who often feels anxious about what is unknown and rushes to resolve ambiguity to feel safer and more in control. He says that healthy people find comfort when things are complex and even in contradictions. They are creative and they're open to new experiences. They're not closed. Unhealthy people are always closed. In a list that he gives of self-actualizing people, those are healthy people, he says they perceive reality efficiently and they can tolerate uncertainty or ambiguity. Maslow saw tolerance for ambiguity as a sign of psychological health and maturity. It was essential for growth, he said. It was essential for innovation and essential for living authentically rather than defensively. We haven't talked about that, but that would be a good paper, a good presentation. Living authentically means being true to yourself, being real. And being unreal, like a fake or a phony, or you always smile and shake hands and keep smiling and making jokes, and even if you don't like the people and you don't like the situation, you do it defensively to protect yourself against their attacks. It's the truth. Living authentically, that comes from existential psychology, the concept of being real, being a real person. It's living authentically. He says ordinary people are different from self-actualizing people because ordinary people tend to feel uneasy with ambiguity. So then they rush to impose order, to impose it, to force order, to enforce rules, or they begin black and white thinking. There's no area of grayness or ambiguity. It's yes, it's no. It's black, it's white. And they do this all for the sake of feeling safe and in control. Ambiguity can make people feel out of control. They don't know. Maslow saw that persons who tolerate ambiguity, this quality, this tolerance for ambiguity, is a sign of psychological maturity and mental health. It goes hand in hand with other self-actualizing characteristics like efficient perception of reality, openness to new experiences, creativity, and comfort with complexity. In short, summing it up, Maslow says that being able to tolerate ambiguity is not a weakness, it's a strength that allows people to grow authentically and to have a richer life experience. No, you don't always buy a Ford because a Ford is always better than a Chevy. Come on. But people do buy cars that way. They buy Fords because the whole family buys Fords because everybody in the family knows a Ford's a better car than a Chevy. Well, it could be Chevy. The whole family buys a Chevy because they know they're better cars than Fords. Chevy people say Ford. It stands for fix or repair daily. All nonsense. Sometimes, think about it, sometimes the Ford's better than the Chevy and sometimes the Chevy is better than the Ford. That's true with everything. Sometimes you vote for the Democrat because they're better than the Republican and vice versa. You vote for the individual, not the party. Of course, that's a very complex topic because unfortunately, there's much more that goes into why someone would vote for a particular candidate. And there's no good reason, I might point out. When I say it's unfortunate, the rationale that people use, the psychological weaknesses that they possess, the lack of growth, the immaturity that many people have when they pick a candidate to vote for. But then again, it could just be you're voting for the Chevy because everybody in your family votes for the Chevy. They always voted for the Chevy. Your dad would hate you if you bought a Ford. You see what I'm saying? I hope you do. This is Analytical Media. We are all college professors. Mostly we are therapists. We are all researchers. We are all well published in peer-reviewed journals. Hopefully we've helped you to some degree. We'd like to extend that to other people. We'd like this message to get out to more people on YouTube. So to do that, you need to subscribe. You need to share the information. You need to like the information, and then the algorithm that YouTube uses will send it out to more people so we can help more people. Having said all that, we hope you've enjoyed these things we've been doing for you. We hope it's helped, at least entertained, or became food for thought. And until we meet again, take care.